よ
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey.
こいつハイになってる
What do you think about the bounty that Loki has not being like a regular bounty?
Special.
Like,
I'm curious what special means.
I am too.
yeah.
I really am too.
They must be aware of Loki in some way. So what did Loki do to get their attention? I'm so
Question
curious.
of the century. Yeah, because it's the question of the century. Because what's also weird about this about Loki's whole thing too is that Loki as a character, he has a power that's inherited, which is like kind of like goes passed down from lineage to lineage. And normally that's not the case with powers. Like, how do you pass down a power from lineage to lineage to lineage? Like, normally when the person dies,
That's why I'm
that power
thinking,
kind of
like,
goes off into the distance somewhere. But somehow Loki's able to maintain that, or they're able to maintain it for the family tree. How is that possible?
Well,
And maybe that's also
this
part
is
of
what
why he's
I-
special
And
too.
it happens
I
in nearby fruit, we know. So if it's just like, if they just always have a fruit nearby or something, I don't know.
Remember how like I said
This
before,
is what
like
I
you know,
think, like-
some powers
like-
operate like independently, so like or like they have like their own wills, and so maybe this
You think
fruit
it's a
has a
zone
will that
then?
kind of, yeah, it could be a zone power that kind of stays, or its will is tied to Elbaph specifically, right?
But what if it's you know, like a
Fenrir?
I don't think it's a zone. To me personally, I don't think it's a zone.
What is
I
it?
honestly
Paramecia,
believe
Logia?
It's like a special paramecia.
Okay.
A special Paramecia, or like Katakuri. She's a special Paramecia. Oh.
He's not exactly like Katakuri, but like it's going to be like, because I honestly believe it has to do with his eyes and something making like
Maybe.
him having his eyes bandages. Like it's like it just tells me that it is a paramecia, because why would they bandage his eyes in the first place? And like when he's talking to Luffy, his eyes does glow. In the chapter that he's introduced, there's like this panel where it's like when he's talking, his eye, there's like a zoom in shot where his eyes are glowing. That's why I think it's like probably like a paramecia, where people try to because it's called like it's labeled as a legendary devil fruit, and people try to say that it's not a paramecia because Whitebeard's Quake fruit is like the strongest fruit, but it's not. It's the strongest paramecia, but it's not labeled as the legendary paramecia, so it could be a paramecia where it's like in the archetype of paramecia, it's like one of the strongest devil fruits alongside the Quake fruit.
Oh,
instead
so
of
you
it
think
being like it.
Okay, so okay,
Yeah.
here's what I'll say. I feel like he can't be Loki. I agree with you though. I think he can't be a Loki because I think Logis are too basic for what Loki should be about.
Yeah,
Like Loki
yeah.
Loki in mythology and Norse should be a trickster, should be a deviant, should be someone that is full of lies and schemes, and it feels like his power should kind of coincide with that. So like if let's say like I think the idea is that Loki could, let's say, have a power of illusions, right? Hypnosis, shit like that, you know, where he's able to manipulate people through lies and schemes and actually like make fake reality through his illusions, right? Through his hypnotism, right? He can make illusions real, some shit like that. And then so he's able to trick, scheme, things of that sort. And that'd be like a very unique thing, because we know that a lot of people, let's say in the story, are, well, I don't know how many, but people like that's not a power that Oda taps into a lot. Like we've seen illusions here and there, and hypnotism, let's say through Django or through Black Maria. But having a power that's suited for that matches Loki very, very, very well.
I also think that
and why someone, let's say,
might
it could be a
first-
special bounty. Go ahead though.
Yeah, I think Loki might be the first that Oda has ever touched on ocular powered devil fruits, because he's never done that before either. Like, if it is an ocular power.
Are we going full Code Geass with this?
Yeah, like Akira, like Code Geass, or let's say Naruto Uchiha stuff, or yeah, something like with his eye, maybe. But I don't know if it'd be the eye.
I
Like
believe
maybe
in
that's
actual
just,
mythology
Go ahead.
that Odin did have like special eye powers. I can't recall if he did or not, because like Odin did have like something to do with related to his eyes, I believe.
So his eyes are wrapped up on purpose, you think?
Yeah, I think it's on purpose.
So with Odin, he has it's something about him having one eye, and he has magical knowledge. He can like cure the sick.
Yeah, so it's like
storms.
one eye is for, because I watched that that series about like Thor, It's that really one good show that came out.
Yeah, you
And-
watched it on Patreon. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Twilight of the Gods. There you go. Thank you. Twilight of the Gods. Very good show. And at least I enjoyed it a lot. And Odin had the two eyes, like one for, like he had the bodies of the warrior, the sage, the king, shit like that. And then he had two eyes, one for like the one for like the all of his memories were stored in one eye, and then the other eye was for like the future, or was for like it involves something about him as a character, like his life.
Well, yeah,
so,
the whole.
but
the
one
whole
was
thing
about him storing his memories and like storing his past.
Yeah, Odin sacrificed one of his eyes, and he gave it to Mimir, who was like the god of knowledge, the Norse god of knowledge. And he keeps like the well of knowledge. So like he threw it into the well, and Mimir gave him all this knowledge about how to make women fall in love.
Knowledge. But here's what we'll say though, right? I feel like that's Odin though. I mean, for Loki, I think that he's gonna be maybe not ocular, but I think that his powers will should tie to, let's say, illusions or trickery. It should tie to trickery in some way, where his powers make it feel like no matter what you do, like you're in his sort of scheme. Like I feel like what we saw with Rode, who is a Loki fanboy, I think is an example of what Loki could do. Where like Loki could probably do what Rode tried to do, but in earnest, where he can make a sort of fake world or some sort of fake false reality, and that's what he started to deal with. That's why every giant was like need to actually take him on, because Loki probably physically may not have, like he may be like, let's say your average giant in terms of, let's say, like physique, like he's up there with, let's say, Hyrudin, or you know, let's say comparable to Dorian Broggie in terms of physique. But it's his power of trickery, it's his powers of falsifying reality in some way. What Rode tried to do with this kind of fake world, and then him being the god of that world, Loki, and then kind of like what you saw, let's say, Uta in film Red, you can argue Loki can kind of do something similar in that respects too, his own fake world, and then he is the sun god in earnest, but let's say in his own fake reality, his own fake world, but his powers make that happen in some way.
Going back to like the knowledge aspect that's discussed in like Odin lore, it could be that because it's like a devil fruit that's passed down, it could be like a devil fruit that does contain knowledge of the previous users, and like Loki probably has like all this well of knowledge from like the past users and how they used the devil fruit, and all their experiences as like a warrior of Elbaph. Kind of reminds me of like what Kenshiro does against Rao when he fights him in the final battle.
Yeah, he gets like the past and the present of, or not, is it the present? Yeah, it's like the past. Yeah, it's like the past and all these guys like kind of coalescing to Kenshiro's being for like martial arts, and it's weird.
All of his comrades and people that he's with.
Yes. He's able to like actualize a lot of their abilities into like one.
It could be like Loki does have access to all like the previous royalty and kings like abilities. This is why he's so dangerous. Like
but hear me out though, because that feels like un-Loki like, doesn't it though? Because like it feels like Loki as a character taking the power of all the ancestors of Elbaph. Does that really feel like a Loki thing? Like a Loki thing?
It doesn't matter if it fits him or not. The fact that he just steals the fruit, just like, you know, it just illustrates like, you know, I'm still gonna use the powers anyway.
But hear me out, okay? So like I know it's gonna piss off people, but like I feel like let's take some more examples here of Little Garden, right? Who are the main villains of Little Garden? Little Garden's main villain was Mr. 3. And Mr. 3 was someone who was a schemer, a planner. He had someone that said, I can't beat Dorian Broggie, right? There's no way. But I can trick them. I can have them consume like literal explosives. I can catch them off guard mentally, and I can completely ruin their whole world. And he's able to, and then also let's say Miss well, I mean, okay, hold on. You had the Miss Golden Week was there too. Like again, someone that had very tricky power, could like manipulate your mind and manipulate your personality and your psyche through painting. And we're seeing that come out now in some way through the paintbrush, the sun paintbrusher, the sunstone painter. So I feel like if you take the concept, let's say Little Garden, and then you apply it to Elbaph one for one, there should be trickery, schemes, plots, and plans for the main villain, you'd argue, if they're not, or at least a villain. And if Big Mom is involved too. She's also another character that's also involved with a lot of schemes and plots and plans and tricks and schemes. And I feel like it kind of works a lot better if it's like a power that kind of coincides with that. Like if you were to take the power like on some Avatar shit, you go to Avatar state, that's fire, but it's like, is this a Loki thing? Like it doesn't feel Loki-esque. It doesn't feel like that's like the shit from a Loki, like that shit that you'd see from like a like a shonen main character. It's like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
That is true, but
it's not Loki.
he could use it in a Loki way where it's like, my thing is like, when Loki got jumped, was he very inexperienced with the fruit,
Probably.
or did he have?
It was probably right
That's
away.
what
I don't know.
If he
Because when did he die? Like when did his dad die? When did he get the power? And then also like how long? Because again, like they're giants, so like they live longer lives than usual. So like how long? So how long did they have it for in the first place? You know, like I don't know. Like it's not that we have to find out for.
Maybe it's like the process that they went through is like with Blackbeard and how he immediately got the Quake fruit, and they probably know the method to getting.
Oh wait, yeah, because I was about to say hold on, because like in that case, then you could argue hold on though, like he's seen maybe his dad use the power, so then he'd have a better idea of how to use that power too, even if let's say he didn't have for a long period of time, you know.
It could be sloppy, but like he still was able to use it like
Right.
Blackbeard.
Okay, I don't know, because I feel like this is a power that I feel like ties too much into other people, right? Like being able to tap into the history of the Elbathian people and their weaknesses and so on. It's like I feel like that's like a little bit too much of like a whole mind linking thing, right? That feels like it's Sugar's thing, but it's like deliberate. And it's like I don't know if that's even like, or not even that, because they're already dead. So like it's, I don't know. It feels like a little bit too much. I feel like in terms of like a power that ties too much
it does look good
to be strong. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean, but like it also goes along with like the thing that Oda has been establishing with Devil Fruits, like you just mentioned this in one of your recent videos with Sabo and Ace.
Yeah.
Because like that connection.
Okay, but that's Ace and Sabo, and they themselves have a strong bond they built together over the course of the time when they were kids, during the SL flashback and so on, right? But like
But like
during
you
the
could
point
say
in
the
time.
same thing with Loki and his father, you know.
And his father, right? But I can't say for his great grandpappy that had the power. It's like, who is this guy? Like, he has no bond there. There's no like thing there. I was like, for his father, fair enough. And that's if he even liked his father in the first place.
I just came up with this on the spot, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, like,
I'm gonna be real. I haven't been thinking about it like all too much.
Yeah.
So, like,
welcome
one of the
back
most-
to One Piece. The drought's over.
One of the most common powers for Loki is that of a shapeshifter. Now, obviously, we have two shapeshifters.
But my problem is that like you already have like, let's say you already have like 4 or 5 different shapeshifters, right? So you have Bone plays a shapeshifter, you could argue. You have Carrion Devon, who's a shapeshifter, you could argue. You could argue that we've seen, let's say, people like, not directly of course, but you have Mr. 3, you can kind of do shapeshifting shit with, let's say, his wax. You have Luffy who can, well, he's not shapeshifter, but Luffy can do weird shit. But the idea is that like you have guys that can already do that whole shape-shifting thing that can transform. And I feel like, okay, you can have, let's say, Loki be a shapeshifter. That's interesting. But I feel like I really like the idea of illusions. I think that makes so much more sense.
Well,
he's shape-shifting through the illusion that he's creating. It's a false reality that he is creating. Because again, I'm trying to, because I really feel like the whole Road thing makes a lot of sense here. Road, what he tried to do is what Loki can do. And then also, to me, and it is what it is. I do try and tie in Film Red to shit, because the Norse themes, to me, that was a very interesting detail that they added for the movie. I was like, why did they have Uta's song be in Norse runes? I don't understand that. Why the are Norse runes important for Uta's shit? Why? And then giving her power of alternate dimensions and space, and then how that was important in the last arc for, let's say, understand what powers are. It feels like that's gonna be important too with Loki in some way, but I could be capping there. I could be just be capping.
What if he knows like some like evil ritual spells?
Fuck
Or
it, bro.
speak.
Fuck it.
I mean, like, Loki, one of the like key things about Loki's mythology is he has I believe it's 6 sons. No, 5 sons and a daughter, because one of his daughter's Hel.
Yes, Hel. Yes.
Then he has the wolf Fenrir, which a lot of people are saying Loki, that's his devil fruit, is mythical Fenrir. And there's also Jormungandr, the world serpent. That's another theory. He also.
But remember, like, we're trying to abide with the idea that he's not a Zoan, right? So if we take the idea that he is not a Zoan,
well,
and then he's a Paramecia, then I think that would be like the best option. Like, he'd be a Paramecia that does illusions in some case. Not like
what I was getting to is one of the things that happens in Norse mythology is Loki kills a beloved god, Balder. And then Odin specifically commands his son Vali to kill his other.
Loki kills Balder.
Loki kills Balder.
Ooh.
He engineers the death of it. He doesn't kill him. But
okay.
He's responsible for his death.
Fair,
and so then
Loki,
Odin tells Loki's son Vali to kill his other son. It's a weird. Usually it's Nari or Narfi, either one you want to pick. And then that son's entrails are thrown on Loki's eyes, and that blinds him. So that could be why Loki has bandages on his eyes.
I mean, would Oda have his entrails on his eyes?
I mean, no, the entrails get thrown on his eyes, and they're like poison because they're god entrails, and it's some weird it's venom. And it like burns his eyes, and he like writhes in pain, and it literally like causes earthquakes all throughout the world.
The earthquakes I did hear about before, but like he takes because I remember like there was a thing like he's trapped in the prison, and then the snake his wife has to try and catch the poison on a bucket because the snake is over him and it drips poison to his eye. But then she has to dump the bucket, and then the poison goes into his eye anyway, which causes these earthquakes because of the pain. So it's Oda can take this in very, 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 very strange ways.
See you. Bye bye.